If you guys are seeing this video during this time, I am on a hiatus from posting to the from filming and posting to the channel due to a family emergency. Some videos will have this warning, some will not. Like I said, but in either case, every video that's posted during the hiatus will either have this in the intro or in the description below, that I am on hiatus. This was filmed prior to some format of a disclaimer / warning, so that way you guys are not spooked out by any of it. And I thank you all for your understanding. Hey guys, Wolvie here. This is part 2 of 3 for the potential future of RWBY. Now, in part 1, I went over the financial aspect of what was going on, alongside AT&T potentially selling both RWBY and Rooster Teeth, because RWBY is the parent company of Rooster Teeth, so that's on that. So for part 2 here is the historical aspect. What actions AT&T made that led up to the point of them potentially selling RWBY and Rooster Teeth. Now, any opinion in this video is my opinion only, but I want to get to as much of the facts as we can. So I'm going to type in here, one other area, that people may think about the historical aspect. Now we're going to go into a bit of a controversial topic, which is what I'm going to be typing in right here, right now. And that is the topic of net neutrality. Now, this is a historical aspect because this does play into what has been going on in recent days. And by that, AT&T considering on selling Rooster Teeth and RWBY. So, the whole thing with net neutrality, what on earth that is that this was brought up by the 44th presidential administration, aka Obama. And the whole thing with net neutrality was like forcing the internet service providers like Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, you name it. They were pretty much saying, hey, they were pretty much forced to go, we gotta charge you, like good amounts for decent service, the proper amounts. You make things, at least reasonable, if not like super affordable. And when it comes down to the sources of the information you got, at least you had like quite a few to go with, You could go with a conservative source or a more liberal source, moderate source, biased source, unbiased source, etc. So basically, you were allowed to browse whatever for a lower price, that sort of thing. And this was because of the 44th administration. Now, the 45th administration was about and this is kind of slang talk, the Benjamins, aka money. Because some people were like, I'm not making anything. And it's like, some people were thinking, why is that? And then some people could come along saying, hey, this company's providing bad service. That company's providing bad service. This other company providing bad service. That sort of thing. And then some of those companies were like, we want money. And it's to the 45th administration that repealed net neutrality. And the way you go about the repeal of net neutrality is through the FCC. And the chairman at the time of the FCC was one of those working with 1 of 3 companies that wanted it to be repealed under the guise of money. Now, according to some people, depending on who you talk to, the real reason for net neutrality is to suppress free speech, which some companies are taking advantage of, in my personal opinion. Now, when it comes down to the type of sources, like I said, conservative or liberal, moderate, biased, unbiased, factual, etc., is that because of the repeal, some people are speculating that you're not going to have many sources to look up because of it. Now, it wasn't really brought up, prior to the repeal. However, as a result of the repeal of net neutrality in 2017 was unfortunately the cost of overall internet service going higher, but providing the same type of quality internet service, which is questionable at best, depending on your provider and the area you're based in within the United States. So, who was going after that repeal of net neutrality? So, okay, I'm going to say, who wanted net to repeal net neutrality? So you guys get to see here, yeah. So this is actually going on. So, and I mean, here's a little bit of update on the net neutrality. There are people who want it revived, and that's something I fully support because it doesn't matter what side of politics you're on in the United States. Hey. So now you guys just get to see here, so basically, yeah, so we do know that net neutrality is no more. So we're going to do a little bit another search here. So we're going to talk to AT&T, Comcast, and Verizon. Okay, so here it is. So basically, it comes down to, yeah. So basically, this is something right here. This is a website called Inverse. This is, so pretty much this is it. So we do know that with one of these articles that Comcast and AT&T are two of the companies that have supported the repeal of net neutrality. And unfortunately, Verizon, I believe, has entered the equation in their repeal as well. So here are some articles here that actually mention that Comcast, Verizon, and AT&T all have favored the repeal of net neutrality. So, like I said, the reason why AT&T is in this equation because, again, they're the ones who have Honor Media as a subsidiary. Honor Media owns Rooster Teeth. You know what I mean. So basically here is that we do know that in 2017 we had the repeal of net neutrality. There have been companies and even politics get involved, get something going to revive it somehow. However, the attempts thus far have been unsuccessful. And like I said, I am in support of net neutrality because it's like, you're talking about you have to offer a fair price for what you're exactly offering. So with that out of the way, we do know the net neutrality here is was repealed, AT&T was one of those companies. Now, not long after AT&T, alongside Verizon and Comcast, got their way with net neutrality, got repealed. So we're gonna do Time Warner. So we have here the merge. The merge that is proving beyond costly to AT&T. Now you have to remember, Honor Media is a subsidiary. And if memory serves me correct, Honor Media is actually part of Time Warner. Now, you're talking about this merge. Do I feel this merge proves that AT&T took more than they can handle? Yes. For me, it's like what I do for a living at UPS. It's like, how much of work can I handle without losing it, so to speak? And it's similarly the same situation with AT&T. They took on, in my personal opinion, more than they could chew. Because you're talking about a company, like a big time company like Time Warner. They have everything that goes under them. And then you look at the state of Texas, where Rooster Teeth is based in, and how Texas is more known for being conservative in varying aspects of their politics. So it's one of those things that's just like, you try to do this, try to do that, but sometimes one has to realize when they've taken a bit more off than they can chew. And in AT&T's case, I think that them merging with Time Warner is actually the biggest mistake they made. Now, I'm going to do another look over here, like up here, and because I know they sold off something to help offset their debts. Because you have to remember, AT&T in part 1 is in a good amount of debt. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars in debt. Depending on your source, it's anywhere between $145 billion United States currency and 164 United States dollars. 164 billion United States dollars, I should be more correct on that. So to do a super quick recap, I'm going to type in here, let me do this. No. AT&T's spells. I'm trying to think here. I want to say shares of Okay, so yes, I knew they were selling some stuff off here. So it was about a couple of years ago where AT&T sold off some of its shares of Hulu, meaning that Disney actually has a lot of control on Hulu, that sort of thing. So that's down that. So some people mention here that this is probably one of the other incidents where AT&T realized, we took a little bit more than we can handle. And you have some people, involved in varying controversies. They're like, dude, you screwed this person over. I'm not supporting you anymore. And that sort of thing, it's like, when you vote with your wallet, it forces people to change things. And with AT&T, this is kind of an example of, you got involved with their repeal net neutrality. You then merged with Time Warner. Then you have certain other things going on with one of the subsidiaries, and people are voting with their wallet. Because AT&T here, they sold $15 billion in its shares they had of Hulu, which gives Disney a lot more control. And some of the layoffs on Rooster Teeth's end, it's not one of those things that you like really. It's one of these is blah. Let me rephrase that. It's one of those things where you have this domino effect with the layoffs. This is something you want to be sitting down to read and see. So this is all like the historical aspects, and then people have been leaving left and right from Rooster Teeth for varying reasons. Although Miles Luna, he left Rooster Teeth as the company, but he's still on with RWBY as an independent contractor. So it is one of those things where it's like you have this domino effect. You go on one side of history to repeal net neutrality, which is yet to show up again. You merge with the company, and then you have some decision making that doesn't end well. People losing jobs by getting laid off or leaving altogether on their own. You have people voting with their wallets saying, I'm not supporting you because he did this, that, X, Y, or Z, amongst other things. Now, again, this part 3 is my overall opinion on this, but we have the facts here, and I'm going to get as many links as possible to the some of this information that way you guys get to see what's going on. So like I said, part 3 is just an opinion piece. I'm going to be signing off on all this, so that's that on that. With Wolvie here signing off, I will catch you all on the flip side.